What's up, everybody? We back again for another episode of Table Talk. This is something we're doing every single Monday through Saturday at 12 o'clock. We're coming together and having some practical conversations so we can grow together as a family. Every day's got a little bit of a different theme. Today is the theme that I love. We talk about leadership.
Yes.
And so we're going to go there. And what we're trying to do is get us to understand leadership isn't a title. Leadership is influence, right? That's a John Maxwell statement. And that means you can have influence no matter where you're at. You can have influence whether you are a CEO of an organization, but you can also have influence whether you're a stay-at-home parent. You can have influence in your programs that you're with your neighbors or your friends. You can have influence no matter what position you are in an organization, because leadership is just helping people progress for the better. And so what we're trying to do is not only help other people progress, but we want to help ourselves progress, right? Yeah. You also got to lead yourself, right? I can't lead someone and then do the opposite, right? I can't say, right? That's the worst thing. Remember when you were a kid and your parents would say, just do what I say, not what I do, right? Like, you just make you so mad, right? That's what a lot of leaders do, right? They're like, hey, just do what I say, not what I do. We're going to lead ourselves also so that we can be growing. So we're going to talk over the next several weeks on some really important ways to lead ourselves, especially when you feel quarantined and you feel like all I got is me, right? So I got to figure this out. So we're going to break this stuff down. So Tyler, what are we tackling today?
Today we're talking about habits.
Come on.
And I feel like this is super important that we focus on some
It's a good
habits
one.
while we are quarantined and confined.
Right.
Confined.
But I think a lot of times when we think about habits, we think about them in a negative like with a negative connotation, right? But there is such thing as a healthy habit, and that's what I want to dive into today. So Mike, can you define what a healthy habit is?
Well, yeah, definitely there is, right? You'll hear that term a lot, right? You got a bad habit, right? I just have a bad habit of that, right? So we do, a lot of times we'll tackle that, right? It's just my habit. It's a negative habit. It's a bad habit. But healthy habits are anything that progresses you, right? Like if you get 1% better every single day, you are going to be ahead of 99% of the world, right? You don't have to be everything at once, but if you can have habits to help you improve just a little bit at a time, you're going to see progression that most of the world doesn't, because most of the world survives when you should start where you thrive. So what we're trying to work on is what are those little adjustments that we can do every single day that we can grow in, right?
Right. Even simple little things like going to bed 30 minutes earlier than what you normally go to bed. I know for me...
Come on, quarantine right now has messed up my sleep schedule.
We are up way too late.
I am like...
And,
I didn't even know I could stay up that late. I haven't stayed up that late since I was in high school, right?
But if we're talking pre-quarantine... one of the things that I knew that I needed to do to make a better habit was to go to bed earlier so that I could wake up earlier and be more productive in my day. And so I did that by just 30 minutes. And you might think, well, that's not that big of a deal. For me, that was huge. Yeah. Like huge, because I stay up way too late and then I'm tired in the morning and I just, I want to be better and more productive. And so that's one of the things that, I do.
So it's identifying.
That's a little thing.
So it's identifying small little areas in your life that if you accumulate them together, they're going to make a drastic difference in the future. And that's what most people don't realize. Most people think that success is this magical thing that you walk into. You're just born with it, right? Or you had this door open for you that no one else had open. That's not it, right? Success is actually all the little things coming together that actually, when they come together, become big, but they're small little adjustments and tweaks that you can do in your life that's going to get you there, right? And that's the same thing. It's like with losing weight. I was the same way when I came to losing weight. I was about 70 to 75 pounds overweight. And when you're a little short guy like me, that means I was really fluffy. And I remember thinking for years, all these big fad diets was what was going to get me to lose weight, right? All these big things I had to do, right? This new eating program and this new workout program never worked, right? Because it was this big thing I thought I was going to reach out. And then it came down when I just started tracking what I ate every single day. And slowly I started trying. And then when I started losing a little bit of weight, it got me a little momentum. So I started working out just a little bit, right? Because I was out of shape. So I didn't go all in. I didn't go into CrossFit day one. That would have been cross nuts. Okay, I would have quit. So I started just tweaking a little bit of stuff here and there. And then within 6 months, I lost 70 pounds within 6 months. But it was because I just did little tweaks that accumulated over time. That's in every area of your life. So we got to try to identify the little adjustments we can make for growth.
I think something to add to that, though, is you did that, but it was something that you felt that the Lord spoke to you
Yeah.
as well. And so you need to pray about it. You need to pray about the places in your life that you can have adjustment in and just let God speak to you, because that was part of, for those of you who don't know, whenever we were planning the church, that was one of the things that he told you to get in order was your physical health, your finances, and your spiritual health.
Yep.
And so I feel like you have a lot more success whenever you're seeking God in these little things that you need to do and in the big things, because oftentimes we just seek God for the big things in our life. And so if we can seek him and God, help me to know where I need to change my habits, and it's going to be even more powerful.
100%.
So,
That's so good, and I would love to just expound on that a little bit further. How do you identify what do I need to change? And I think praying about it is absolutely huge. But like,
that should be a
there-
given, but most of the time it's not the first thing
yeah,
that people
you're
think.
Well,
spot on.
One of the biggest areas you need to learn is output goals and input goals are two different things, okay? An output goal is the thing that you want to be, what you want to achieve, right? So I want to be physically fit. I want to be financially stable. I want to have XYZ job. I want to have my children in these activities. Like, that's my output goals. Input goals are the small activities that get you there, right? I want to be physically fit, so I'm going to eat X amount of calories a day and work out X amount of times a week, right? So what you've got to start really identifying is, what is your output, okay? Where do you want to be? What's the dream person you want to be? And then work your way backwards, right? If there's someone you admire, right? Think about this. Say there's a career goal you admire, or someone's spiritual goal you admire, or something. What you need to look at is go, okay, I see this person that I admire. They have this spiritual connection with God I want. Okay, what are the characteristics that surround that person, right? Like, why do you think they're that way? What do you think? Discipline, right? Maybe they have this heart to get up early. Maybe they have a heart to serve people. These are characteristics identifying. Maybe they're selfless, right? And then all of a sudden what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, if those are some characteristics, I'm going to work my way backwards. What are activities I need to do, those input goals I need to do to tweak in my life so I can actually be those things?
That's so good. And I want to key in on that for just a second, because those are some really awesome things and what you can transform into. But talk about the polar opposite for just a second on the why they need to do this, because what can bad habits do to your leadership and impact?
Yeah, well, and this is exactly it. People will not respect you or want to follow you or hear your voice if you are doing opposite of what you're saying.
Yeah.
And too many times, this is what I see a lot of times online. We love our opinions, but our opinions never reflect our lifestyle. We love to tell people why they're wrong and judge people, but they don't. Listen to me. If I want something, I can ask the people I lead with a very confident heart, because I'm never asking them to do something I'm not already doing. I don't ever have this fear that I can tell people to work hard, because I know you ain't going to outwork me. I can't ever tell my people to make sure they have some disciplines in their life and make sure they put priorities in their life, because I know I'm already doing that. And so when I'm a leader, I can confidently ask people to raise themselves, raise their ceiling in life, because I'm already doing it.
So good.
And that's what you've got to learn in life. Your influence is your actions, right? Don't talk the talk, walk the walk, and then let people want to follow you on that walk.
Yeah, I mean, it's so true. People always look at successful people and they think, well, they were born into that, or they were just given that, or they were this. And very rarely do they ever know the story behind how someone got there. And don't get me wrong, there are some people that life has maybe been a little bit easier, but there's so much that goes into becoming who God's called you to be.
Yes.
And, for instance, even planting the church, that is hard work.
Yeah.
And you didn't necessarily know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. So we had to find people, pastors, churches that were doing what we wanted to do. We asked questions, we visited, we did all the things on the back end so that when it came time for us to launch Bloom Church, we felt like we had an idea of what we should be doing.
That's right.
And so we didn't just, and I use this example because if you attend Bloom, and a lot of people have only started coming since we've been here, they didn't see everything up to this point. And so it's just an encouraging story of saying, hey, a lot of hard work, effort, research went into the dream. It didn't just happen overnight. Yeah. And so I would make the suggestion that if you are out there and you want to know what you can do right now, go on online, find some books. There are so many people who are writing books about habits and leadership, and find those, because right now you can't really be around people, and read them and highlight and write down the things that stick out to you, and then just start doing them. It's like Pastor Mike said, just start doing something, and it's going to change your life.
I want to go off of that for just a second. This might catch you off guard, but give me like your top 3 habits that people could start doing right now.
Well, top 3 habits, that's kind of a broad statement for the fact that everybody has a different goal they're shooting at.
That's
but
good.
I will give you some top 3 habits you need to do when it comes to growing as a person and spiritually, right? Okay?
Yeah.
So I'll hit you with that stuff. Number 1, leaders are readers. And so my biggest pet peeve is people want knowledge, but they don't ever accumulate knowledge. You will be what you digest. So a lot of you look like Netflix. You don't look like the leadership you're trying to get, okay? So I'm just being honest with you, right?
Yeah.
You can't give what you don't have, okay? So if you want to be someone of influence and you want to grow, then you've got to actually be pouring more into yourself than what you're pouring out, right? Because you're not going to obtain everything you digest. And so if you're not digesting very much, you're not going to be able to give very much, okay? Number 2, you need to make sure that prayer is a first day priority for you. Reading the Word of God in prayer is a first day priority, right? I'm a big proponent in giving God the principle of the first, which means I want God to be first in every aspect of my life. So I give him the first day of the week by making church a priority. I give him the first part of my day by making sure I start my day with reading the Word of God and praying. I give God the first of my finances by time. Because I know the principle of the first. If I give God my first fruits, I know he is going to bless it and redeem it. So I want him to bless and redeem my day. Yeah. I want him to bless and redeem my week. I want him to bless and redeem my finances, not because I want to be wealthy, but because I want to walk in his will and favor, right? So I want that, okay? So I'm looking at those 2 aspects and understanding it. Number 3, and this is a big one, your schedule will run your life.
Come on.
Your calendar will run your life. And a lot of you let your calendar tell you where to go, and you don't tell your calendar where to go.
So
and what do I mean is you don't have any control over your schedule. You don't put anything down. You don't block any time out. You don't leave any room to grow. You don't leave any room to dream. You are stuck head down in the weeds and letting your days run into weeks, weeks run into months, and then you go, where did the time go?
Yeah.
Capitalize on your calendar. You have more time than what you think. Here's the biggest thing. People always think, I wish I had more time. Steve Jobs had just as much time as you. Ooh. Bill Gates has just as much time as you, right? President Donald Trump has just as much time. We all have been given 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The difference is some people maximize their calendar and some people minimize their calendar. You got to maximize it.
It's really good.
That's
all right.
So good. So real quick, talk to me if someone's out there listening or watching right now and they say, okay, great, so I'm going to read, and I'm going to read for 21 days, and then it's going to become a habit. Is the 21-day rule, is that true?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I've taught it, so that's the bad thing, right? It's one of those wives' tales that actually was put on the internet, just somebody put on there, and it caught, right? Like every once in a while, one of these things happen, right?
Yeah.
And it just catches steam, and then it becomes truth and gospel. It's not true, but I will tell you this. This is true. This is in the actual book, Power of Habits. There is something called a Keystone Habit, which means one small adjustment in your life can cause a domino effect that causes more adjustments in your life. And when you understand that, it's going to cause you towards health, and that can also be towards the negative. What I mean by that is when I go to the gym, right? When I go to the gym, my mind decompresses. I feel a little bit more relaxed. I feel like more energy. I eat healthier. When I eat healthier, I have more energy. I have better self-esteem. I look at my life better. I feel more accomplished. I'm more productive because I have more energy.
Yeah.
I have more self-esteem. And then I feel like I can accomplish more. When I don't eat healthy and I don't go to the gym, I start eating unhealthy. Then all of a sudden, I start getting a little bit down on myself. I start having sluggish moments to my life. Now all of a sudden, I look in my mirror and I start pinching my belly and I can't stand in myself. Then I eat more. Yeah. And the next thing I know, I am outgrowing all my clothes. And then when I outgrow all my clothes, I have to go buy new outfits. But now I'm not performing good at work. And now that I'm not performing good at work, they fire me because I'm now lacking. And now I gain and eat more weight. And now all of a sudden I'm outgrowing all my clothes and I have no job and I can't ever afford a new outfit. So I have tube tops.
He's very dramatic.
Dang.
Very dramatic. It is an exaggeration, but it is the truth. Did you see how one little thing by working out caused the domino effect?
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to get you at. And one thing I'm not doing can cause a domino effect.
That
So
also taking the time to write it down, things maybe that you want to change or things that you want, because if you take the time to sit and write it. You have to think it, and then you really have to process it. And so for me, that's what I do, is if I write it down, then I mean business. You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know. That's one little thing just to kind of add to making the changes.
Come on.
Yeah, that's so good. I even think maybe an episode on goals would be huge.
100%.
Let us know if that is something that you would want
Yes.
to hear. In closing, just give some encouragement real quick on why to start this now.
Hey.
Don't wait.
You got the perfect time to start dreaming and planning, right? You got the perfect time to create a new rhythm and a new normal for your life. And so let's capitalize on it. Let's grow together. Let's not let this be a time of craziness, a time of stress, a time of anxiety. Let's let this be a time where we can put a reset in our lives
Yes.
and really create a new normal of health and growth. So we come out of this and we are crushing it out of the park. All right, guys, I am so excited. We got to tune in again today. It is Saturday, which means tomorrow we got church going down. I'm so excited about the services we got going. So here's what I want. I want you to get your share on. I want you to get your comments on. I want you to get your watch parties on. I want this to be such an amazing day where we are encouraging so many people, because hope has a name, and his name is Jesus, and we're going to let hope catch faster than this virus. Love you guys. Pray God's peace.